Hello everyone, MeanSpeed here with another Rising Hub video. So first off, this isn't related to the video topic, but the day I'm uploading this, the 14th of July 2018, it actually marks 2 years since the original Battlefield Heroes closed. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was just something interesting to tell you. I also want to quickly say that I'm planning to be uploading more often this month. I know once again it's been a long time in between uploads and I kind of sound like a broken record with saying this all the time, but I do have 2 more videos planned that should hopefully both be going up pretty soon and during the month of July this month, so hopefully you like those when they're uploaded. So today's video is going to be about the most recent update to Rising Hub, which is the Black Market Part 2 update. Now, as the name suggests, this update focuses heavily on stolen and pilfered versions of weapons, as well as clothing for the first time, which is pretty interesting. But as well as new weapon reskins being released and new clothes, there's also a brand new machine gun that was made by Bixie called Dingpot's Dismantler for the Royals and Terry's Trench Sweeper for the Nationals, which I'll be covering in the video as well, because I did do a pretty extensive test on it, because it's the first proper new edition, I guess you could say, in a while. And the update also came with a few bug fixes as per usual, and also the return of some weapons that were previously in the game but got taken out. So there were a lot of new weapons added across all the classes and weapon types, and most of them were reskins, but I still think it's cool to see more variety in specific weapon choices, and owning more weapons from the enemy side and getting to kill them with their own weapons is pretty satisfying, I think. We did also get some stolen and pilfered versions of weapons that had never had a reskin before as well. So for example, it's now possible to use dual Uzis and dual Tech 9s, which wasn't possible in the original game because they were sort of standalone weapons, and the closest thing you could do was pair one with a short range pistol, but it didn't really work properly because one is a burst fire pistol and the other is fully automatic. So yeah, it is pretty fun to be able to try that setup for the very first time. It's obviously only viable really on a commando, and I think if you really do get point blank and you can switch between them efficiently, then the setup can actually prove to be pretty decent. I think just using one Uzi never felt enough, because unless you landed all the shots at point blank and you got lucky with a few crits, you'd probably find yourself unable to kill most enemies and you needed to switch to something else to finish them off while reloading that. There's also another somewhat unique setup in that you can now dual wield the cowboy pistols. Now, these are supposed to be reskins, but I'm honestly convinced that they're a lot stronger in Rising Hub than they were in the original game. I can't remember there ever being any patch notes or information on them getting changed, but I really do think they're way better now, and that's just how I feel. So for now, I'm just going to consider this a new setup as well, in that you can use 2 of these, and it's pretty overpowered, I think, just because of the massive damage output you can do in close and moderate range, as well as the insane fire rate. And now that you can use the second one, it's obviously even stronger than before. Obviously, though, it's still risky to be up close as a commando, so you might still find yourself getting mowed down pretty quickly, but you should also be a force to be reckoned with most of the time. As I said before, there's also stolen clothing now. So, for example, the national flag shirt can now be worn by Royals and vice versa. And I think it's pretty interesting to see, though I guess maybe it could potentially get to a point where people are genuinely confused, just for a few seconds, but still confused, whether someone is a teammate or an enemy. Though it depends really just how many more clothing items we're going to see made available for both sides, just how far they go with it. And I'm really just thinking about entire sets here. You know, stuff you're used to seeing on a specific side. But either way, I think this is pretty funny and amusing to see, and a nice idea really, because considering stolen weapons, they were already a big part of the game, but clothing didn't ever seem to be an idea. And we also have more options to choose from now, and the Nationals can get a bit more colour instead of the standard black stuff that they're used to, so that's pretty cool as well. We also got a few clothing items that were player submitted, so that's pretty awesome to see, because it means the community is involved with the development of the game, and it's just more stuff that gets the community together, and it inspires people really to try and make items in the hopes of getting accepted and getting their stuff actually into the game. And yeah, guys, most of these weapons, though, like I said, they're reskins of stuff you've probably already used before, so it's not going to make a massive impact on gameplay overall. But as I said, you know, it's still nice to see small additions like this, at least for me. Now, the main part of this update for me really is the new machine gun, because it's actually something completely new that wasn't in the original game. It's a concept that we haven't seen on a gunner weapon until now as well. So it's a machine gun that basically has a 3-shot burst, similar to the battle rifle, and I was really looking forward to trying it out when I saw that it was announced. Now, while I really do appreciate the idea, and I'd love to see more weapons added to the game, like new weapons we haven't seen previously, I think this weapon needs a few buffs for sure. It's a moderate range machine gun that deals pretty weak damage in close and long range, as you can probably see from the testing footage here. And the only real range you're going to deal good damage at is in a certain sweet spot within moderate range, from what I could see. But even then, you're still going to be outclassed by gunners with cheesers and stuff like that, because not only is your damage output just not high enough, but this weapon doesn't actually work with frenzy fire at all right now, meaning it's quite a challenge to use and a challenge to get some decent kills and gameplay with it. I do know that frenzy fire not working with it is a bug though, so hopefully it's going to get fixed soon. But yeah, I think if this weapon is going to see any proper long-term use, it really needs to be doing more damage. Now, this next thing might annoy some of you, just because of how hated this weapon is in Battlefield Heroes throughout the game's history, but it's really not a big deal. So the Dragonfire came back after being out of the game for quite a few months, but it got massively nerfed to the point where I honestly think you guys will barely even notice it's there. It does 15 damage on a direct hit to a single enemy. The splash radius was reduced a bit, and the force or knockback, you could say, from being hit is a lot less powerful now, so you won't find yourself getting bounced around all over the place and taking lots of damage, and it's only really useful now on groups, I'd say of about 4 people or more, and there's really no reason for a group of that size to not have any IEG to counter it, or to even be staying in the same easy to hit spot, sort of all grouped together in the first place. But yeah, I know some of you will still never want to see the weapon just because of how insane it used to be and with the history, especially when it was first released in 2011. But for me, I don't see it as a huge threat at all. Any gunner using the Dragonfire is honestly putting himself at a disadvantage by not being able to rocket jump easily, use Kegzookas, fire people into the air, such as knifing commandos, or maybe someone you might be losing to in order to turn the tables in a fight. The list goes on really. I'm personally glad to see it back because I'm of the belief that nothing should be deleted or removed forever, just changed and tweaked accordingly to make it weaker or stronger depending on what the issue is really. And I think flat out removing something is just pretty much laziness and admitting defeat in weapon balancing. Just what I think. Now there was a problem, like a bug, which I believe only lasted for a day when the update first went live, which meant that if you used any of the new weapons, your hero page on the site didn't load for a few hours, which meant for those hours you weren't able to reset your abilities until it was fixed. And I do believe that has been fixed now, so if you use something for the first time now since the update, it should work fine. But there is still an issue where any progress you make using a certain stolen weapon isn't saved on your profile as well, and the weapons don't have like proper icons and stuff, just looks a bit weird. But hopefully that's going to be fixed soon and they'll be tracked and they'll look normal. Aside from all of that though, there were a few smaller bug changes and stuff like that, but I think I pretty much covered the biggest and most important parts of the update in depth. So yeah guys, like I said, I've got 2 more videos planned pretty soon, so hopefully you enjoy those when they're out, and hopefully just look out for those. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.